This is volume 3, isn't it, Eleonora? Or
yes, it is.
Volume 3. And today we'll be talking about entrepreneurship. So welcome everybody who's joined in. How many participants do we have at the moment? Probably like 20, 30 could be. We're waiting 44, but let's see what's the outcome. We are recording this, so for all of you, hello Francis. So for all of you to know that we are recording this, and it will be put on our Talent Coastline website. So just that you know. I'll present very briefly the people we have here today talking, and thank you to all of you already in advance for coming and being available to help out in these very important questions. The presentations will be started by Perttu Kellomäki, and you are in Kokkola at the moment, so a little bit far away from us here in Vaasa. There are probably other people from around Kokkola as well. And you present the services and entrepreneurship services. Then after Perttu, we'll have Jarl Matti Anttila. Do we have Jarl Matti here already, or are we waiting for him still? I guess he'll join in, but he actually joins in from Seinäjoki, I think, talk about his entrepreneurial experiences and giving you all boost to be an entrepreneur. After that, Francis Oyeyiola is followed. Francis, we saw you briefly there, and you are joining in. Oh, there's Jarl Matti as well. Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
No worries. I'm presenting all the presenters at the moment, and for your information as well, we are recording the presentations. So Francis, we saw as well, you'll talk about your experiences as making your own opportunities as an entrepreneur. And then we have Tommi Virkama, Markus Wikars in between from Auga Technologies, an entrepreneur as well. Looking forward to that. And then after that, Tommi Virkama from Startia.
Hello.
There is Tommi. And entrepreneurship, all the help Vasek and Startia have in that sense, and also the light entrepreneurship. We're talking about that as well. We are giving you this Talent Café from Talent Coastline Employment, so ELY and TE services, and thank you to Eleonora as well for making this possible. But we'll start with Perttu. The stage is yours.
Thank you. So, first I'll start with the startup grant and about the guidance concerning those things. Startup grant is for the reason that we want to encourage people to start their own businesses, and after that, as we all know, it's not so easy to get revenue so quickly, so one needs to have some sort of a secure income during that time, and there comes the startup grant at hand. So it's possible to get a startup grant. Normally the maximum time is 12 months, but now due to COVID-19 it's possible to get maximum time of 18 months of startup grant. You'll get the material afterwards. There are certain dates and times that you should be aware of concerning this. But normally 12 months now, maximum 18 months. And startup grant is paid per day, or not paid every day, but you can calculate the amount when you have the sum per day, which is €33.66 per day.
Sorry,
So that-
Perttu, can I
Okay.
interrupt you? I think if you have the possibility to share the presentation, it's not, at least I cannot see it. So would you
Okay.
be able to?
Sorry, I thought that maybe I remembered wrong. I thought that maybe you share it if you
Okay.
think that, but
I can
I'll
do that
take
as well.
it up. Yeah.
Yes, no problem.
Just a minute. My bad. I remembered it the wrong way. I can have it. Or I thought I would have it right here.
Are you, Eleanor, able to share it?
Yes, I'm doing it now. Just
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop presenting then.
there it is.
And the
Is it visible?
next one. Yeah, this is the file, and yeah. So here we have this information, and the office offers information guidance how to apply for the startup grant, and also we have trainings that are held by firms that cooperate with us. For example, in October starts 40-day entrepreneur training, and that is intended for immigrants who are planning or already have started their own businesses. So there is one possibility that is a little longer, but there, maybe I can say there will be, or maybe there is coming shorter ones like 10 or 20-day trainings as well. So you can make inquiries about those or see from our websites. You can take the next slide. If you want to know if you are eligible for startup grant, here are some basic rules for that. So you may be unemployed, job seeker, or you are now as a employer in some company or with a state or anything like that, full-time job somewhere, or you are part-time entrepreneur already and you are planning to become full-time entrepreneur. So these are the possibilities. So as you can see, almost every situation is possible with this. If you are studying, you can't be having startup grant while studying, but right after that, it's possible also. And it is good to know that we are not trying to find reasons why not to grant this startup grant for you. We have some rules that we follow. Because of that, we want to be sure that the company and the thing you are starting is probable to be successful in long term and suitable for you. And that is why we want to have information about that. And we have connections with Vasek and Startia. Tommi is coming to talk about their services more, so you won't be on your own with all those questions about how to make business plans, and so you have help from COSEC, Vasek, or Concordia, or whichever is nearest to you. When you are going to start your business and you want to apply for the startup grant, it is good to know that you have to apply it before you have started your business. If it is a part-time business you have already, then it's good to know that you won't go full-time before you have applied it. And there are some major things that you should know about the startup grant in the business-wise, and your skills and everything. So you can read through this, but as I said, it's about becoming a full-time entrepreneur, and hopefully and should be aiming at being that permanently or in long term. But there, what kind of business you are starting, that makes the education-wise or so difference. If you are starting a business that you have your education from, that's quite easy, but maybe you want to change the area of expertise and start business at with different skills you have got education from. So then we have to get more information and go through all these things. And then calculations should be there, financing, business premises, and that all we have to know, so we can evaluate if it's good to go, or should you prep it a little more and then come back to the application. And the last one there was about the competitive situation. Tommi and his team are experts on that, and we rely very much about the thing that they know about the competition in your area you're starting your business. Next one. And then about the recruitment services. If you are starting business where you need employers, you need persons to do all the things with you. So there are many different possibilities with that. So you can just leave your job offering at the T-services websites, or you can contact us, and then our experts can help you and do the process with you, with the possibility of getting the information in the websites, or so that we can do it like the hidden way. So we just try to find the right persons for you, even if it's not the most common way to do, but that is possible. We can do it as you will. And then about the social security and unemployment security. There are many things you should know when you start your business. And I'm not going to go through all of this. You can read it afterwards. But one thing is for sure, the money coming in is not the most important thing when you want to take a look at the unemployment security and your entrepreneurship. The most important thing is the work you invest in the business and the activity. If you are doing it full time, then you won't be able to get unemployment security. But if you are in a situation that you want to try, if it's possible, to get your living out of the business you are planning, so you can start as unemployed if that is your situation, and then after 4 months it's evaluated if it has become a full-time business or not. If it has, you will not be able to get the unemployment security anymore. But if the revenue is so low that and you are not working full-time there, then it is possible to get the unemployment security. There might be cases that you won't be working full-time, but your revenue is so high. In that case also you might not get unemployment security. But you can read through these things, and if you have anything to ask, you can come back later. And maybe I'll say finally that if you have plans already, or you are thinking about it to start your own business, it's always better to contact the office sooner than later, so we can discuss about things and give you advice, and you can contact also Startia, Vasek, or Concordia, and in that way we'll get the best results. I have had 3 minutes over my time limit, but
no worries. Not to worry. Thank you so much, Perttu, for the presentation and very good material for all of you guys to look into later on, and good points you have to remember when starting your own business. So next we're going to hear from Jarl Matti, the sort of an inspirational part. Perttu gave you the details, and then we'll go to Jarl Matti. Thank you, Perttu. Or does anybody have any questions for Perttu at the moment? Now's the time to that. If not, then we'll continue. Thank you. And now, Jarl Matti, you will present yourself, and the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, and a pleasure to be here. I can't see any of you, but I see many many screens here, but no one, no faces. But it's a little bit weird, but I try to think that there are people there. Hey,
some is there.
Okay. Francesca asked me to have a inspirational keynote, and I was thinking that what can I say to you, what gives you some inspiration, and then I found one topic, and I will share it with you now, and it's related to zoo. You know, many animals, zoo. It's related on that. It's my I have adapted this kind of zoo theory, and I will give it to you. But first, I introduce you shortly in 30 seconds. My name is Jarl Matti Anttila. I have born in the northernmost Norway, and I lived in western part Finland, and studied in University of Vaasa and Oslo, and then moved to Seinäjoki, kind of close of Vaasa, and now living here and running businesses here. We have a consultancy company called MDI, which is consulting public sector, and then we have this Jakamo, where I am working right now, and it's a Facebook for manufacturing companies. So we created the Facebook for manufacturing companies, where manufacturing companies can connect with each other and share information. It's a cloud service, and today we have 3,000 customers in 56 countries, and we are located in Finland. So we're located locally, but the product is worldwide. And we got a US patent in 2016, and we have about 10 employees team. So very small team, but serving big amount of people and companies. That's it. No more about Jakamo, but the inspirational part for starting a company. Every investors and all people always says about the team. You need to have a good team, and the team needs to be right, and the team needs to be passionate, and so on. But what is a good team? What kind of team you need to build, and how to build it? And I have found one really good example, which I have adopted, and we have adopted in our team building, and it's not more it's not so much building, but it's more or less an attitude, how to act and how to work with other people that are different. And I was visiting in Stavanger oil and gas fair, and one professor from California called Homa Bahrami gave this kind of theory that I don't remember what the name was, but I call it zoo theory. And she told that there needs to be different people in the organization, and she said that it's no matter are they women or men or old or young or from what culture they come, but the capabilities and the background and the passions needs to be different. And then she said that okay, that you need to have. I have a little bit adopted this and evolved this theory. So this is not completely the same that she said, but I have a little bit mixed it. So this is my version of this zoo theory. So first of all, you need to have an alligator in your team. The alligator is that kind of person that attacks, and when it's time, the alligator goes and runs and attacks and make things clear and wins the battles. You need to have that kind of people in your team. But everyone can't be alligators. That doesn't fit. And of course, you need to have camels. You need to have a camel in your team. It's completely opposite of the alligator, because camel moves slowly and wants to know everything that is happening, wants to make analysis of everything, and needs the information before making decisions. And like camel can suck and drink the the water and store it and use it in the long run. So the camel person in your team is that kind of person that can be doing one type of analysis whole year that alligator can't do it. It's just impossible. But everyone can't be camels. That doesn't fit. Okay, the third animal in the zoo theory is cheetah. And you all know the cheetah is the most, it's really rapid. They can run fast, and when they got something to do, they do it really, really fast. You need to have this kind of person in your team that takes a list of doing things and do they quickly. If you compare camel and this cheetah, so camel can do one thing in a week and cheetah can do 50 things in a week. So this kind of completing things fast and quickly, you need to have that kind of person in your team. But everyone can't be a cheetah. That doesn't fit. Okay, the fourth animal is a starfish or sea star. How would you call it? I think both fits, but a starfish is one of the animals in the zoo, and it's really hard. It's really hard, and it has a persistence. If you cut starfish from the arm of the starfish, it will rise up again a new arm. There will grow up a new arm to the starfish. So that keeps the structure that has been agreed, and you need to have this kind of person that don't give up, that they never give up. They have a completely highest persistence in doing things. But everybody can't be starfish. You need to have different people and different animals in your team. Okay, the fifth one is chameleon. Chameleon is that kind of person that you can pull chameleon everywhere. It always survives. It always changes the color to fit that audience or fit that situation or the chameleon is ready all the time. Chameleon can do anything everywhere, and don't need to prepare anything. Can just go. You need to have this kind of persons in your team, chameleons. It survives, and but again, everybody can't be chameleons. It doesn't make a good team if everybody are chameleons. Okay, the last one. I think there was something that missed. Homa Bahramin missed in her presentation, and I have put one more animal in this presentation or this zoo theory, and it's a Lapland dog, Lappish dog. And those one who don't know what kind of animal the Lappish dog is that that animal is that kind of, if you say to them the dog that let's go out, so it runs first in circle in living room and jumps right to your face, and it's so enthusiastic. It's really eager and want to do things immediately and gets like a passion immediately when there's something new or we can do something together or this kind of really passionate person. You need to have that kind of person in your team. You need the Lapland dog in your team, but everybody can't be Lapland dogs. Okay, this is why do I tell this? Why do I tell this story or this kind of zoo theory? Okay, I believe it. I believe it that all people in your team have some kind of mix, that you have this kind of alligator or chameleon mix in your characteristics. So you have this kind of mix of those things, those animals. Everybody are not only cheetah or only camel, but you have some kind of mix, and you should think that what is your mix and what is your colleague's mix, because the one thing is that you need all these capabilities to make a good team, but it's really frustrating to work together with totally different operation modes. Like if you want to make decisions, you are a kind of person that you want to make decision immediately and go forward, like an alligator, for example. And your colleague is camel. And camel needs to get all the information before taking the decision and can take months before we can go forward. And alligator was going to make the decision immediately. So there can be a big frustration of these like capabilities. So what you need is toleration. You need to tolerate different animals in your team. And after you have learned to tolerate that, okay, I understand I want to go forward now quickly, but I need to give time because my colleague is not the same like the same kind of decision maker that I am, and maybe it's good that we think about it a little bit before we make the decision, and maybe it's good we make your analysis, and in other things the camel can think maybe it's good to move forward and no more analysis and let's go. But you need to tolerate the different animals, and that makes when you tolerate the other animals, it will get as a, or it will establish a respect in your team, that you respect the other animals, that they are really important in our team because they are different than I can't do that, but this person can do something that I can't do, and there's always something that you are not so good in. And through the toleration, to the respect, and then when you get this kind of status or this kind of phase in your team, that you respect others' capabilities that you don't have, then you are really strong team. And we have gone through this. We have really different backgrounds in our team. Even nearly whole team is 30 or 40, between 30 or 40 years old men from Etelä-Pohjanmaa. But we are really different in our background, our passion, our capabilities, our knowledge, and that makes us really strong team. And I think it was what was the professor who said, no, anyway, the one of the team's mission is to eliminate the single person's weaknesses. So this is core on that. This is spot on that. You can't. Why the team exists? Because of there are different people, different backgrounds, and they can eliminate my weaknesses where I'm not weak, where I'm not strong, and that's really important, that you have alligators, you have camels, you have starfish, you have chameleon, you have cheetah and Lapland dog in your team, because all these different animals will take care and eliminate the weaknesses of other animals. Yeah, yeah, that's my point. I think that's my point. So think about it, what you are and what your colleagues are, and how to tolerate and how to get into the respect phase.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jarl Matti. That really made us think. I'm like, thinking very hard. What am I in the team? And actually, Sami has a question there. But you already answered to the first point that you have that kind of a team in Jakamo, and that's what's made you so good at what you do. What animal? We are interested. What animal are you in the team yourself?
Yeah. Of course, I'm Lapland dog.
Okay.
I'm really eager, but I'm also chameleon. I'm in the first in the front end of sales and communicating a lot with different people and making trust base with them, and that's why I need to have a ability to empathy, and that's something that chameleon needs to have. So you need to go to different situations and work with different people, and yeah, that's maybe my, and all of our team members are starfish. We got this idea over 10 years ago. We started our company Jakamo in 2011, and 2016 we have worked with this concept, and last summer we started to grow, like really grow. So you need to be really persistent when
Persistent.
you
for a longer time.
Yeah.
That's a good message to think about when you're planning to be an entrepreneur. What the last question to you, or does somebody else have a question? Then shoot in the message board. What made you become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it was maybe that it was like an accident because I wanted to do I wanted to do big or important things immediately already when I was studying, and I couldn't do it if I worked as a super junior in some bigger corporation. So I wanted to go direct to something that means something, and that's why I started my own company first, and then some years later I found my co entrepreneurs, and we started together a company, and maybe that's why I wanted faster to like real things.
Yeah, 'cause, everybody always has the thing that drives them to something. So that's a very good story.
And actually, I worked in university as a development manager in Vaasa, and I worked a lot with companies like this kind of development or consultancy and analysis work, and then they ask the companies, can you do this and can you do that? No, we can't do, because we have this program and project and we can't do that. And then I do it. I established my own company, and I just do it, and that was fine for a university also. So.
Yeah, perfect. Eleonora was also asking the participants to think about what are you guys. Anna already announced a camel there, so this is a very good question. But if no more questions at this point, we're going to thank you, Jarl Matti, for a very inspirational, food for thought presentation, and we'll continue. And of course, Jarl Matti is a Talent Coastline advisor as well. So if any of the participants have specific something to talk to you about, then we can maybe pass on the questions. Okay.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot.
So much. Okay. Then we have Francis there getting ready, right? Is Francis there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we see you. So nice to see you.
Yes.
A Talent Coastline member as well.
Yes.
So you're next to also talk about your own experiences, inspirational as a person as well. So the stage is yours now. Go ahead.
Okay. I think thank you for having me, and thank you. I would like to. I have yes. I have this. I have this presentation. I can you all see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to focus more on the entrepreneur itself. We have a lot of, I haven't gotten a lot of this wealth of experience being an entrepreneur, but I was looking at the perspective of the individual who has the idea and who wants to go into this new profession or this new path or career. And this is a presentation I was teaching a couple of weeks at Tampere Matikokiakulu about work-life skills as part of my job coaching. And I created this, and I will actually, this, I don't need any of this, is not the most important part, but this is something I would like to talk more about. The quality of life, or the quality or the success of your business, is going to depend on three main parameters. Okay, so as a business person and from my own personal point of view, we all are blessed with certain characters. We all have knowledge, we all have talent, and we all have the ability to practice anything we put our mind on. So does it go with the role of an entrepreneur. Putting your mind on that particular task is very, very crucial. I was doing a research, and I came across this formula by Professor Whitson from one of the university, and his definition of quality of life or your survival in life depend on your knowledge, how you practice the knowledge, and your talent. These are the three key things that you can also utilize in being an entrepreneur. How well do you know about the business? Have you done an extensive research about the business? Have you figured out what are the basically the SWOT analysis? Have you gone around talking to people that have already done this business? What did they say? And whatever information you get there, second, you have to put those knowledge into practice. Basically, you try to see them as more or less as experts giving you theory or creating an hypothesis for you that you can basically make into a theory in your business. So all this knowledge, you need to make sure as much as you can that you put them into practice. Apart from these two key, you have a third one, which is talent. Every one of us have an inherent talent. We all have this hidden ability to recognize, the hidden ability to identify, the hidden ability to be able to put things together. So this inherent talent that you have to try to locate it and bring it out so that they can complement these other two parameters, which is your knowledge of the business, the practice of the business. How have you used this knowledge you gather regarding the product? And then finally is the talent. So being able to put these three core aspects into place will make a huge difference and determine how successful the business is going to be. And not only that, it's also going to determine your own personal quality of life. For some people, the definition of quality of life can be different. This is one way you could look at quality of life. You have a very good economy, you have a very good community around you, and on top of that, you have a very good environment where you can breathe and develop your idea. So for me, as to you, as an entrepreneur, look at these two different view or these two different parameters of how to look at your business. Try to find a way to secure enough experts or people around you, people that can feed you the knowledge you need in your business. This knowledge they give you, at the same time, try to make sure that you put this knowledge into practice, because I'm very much sure that they've done a lot of mistakes and they will never or willing to let you repeat those mistakes. So whatever they tell you, you try as much to put into practice. Yes, it might work for them and it might not work for you, but being able to test that knowledge they've been able to give you and put it into practice is going to make a very, very huge difference. For me as a person, my entrepreneur is mostly, I love music. I love dancing. So my passion, this is my entrepreneur. I travel around playing with different bands, dancing and teaching music. You see me, once I start playing music, this is my talent. But to be able to look at this from a different perspective, when you look at the formula, the talent is very, very, very small. That means without having the knowledge and being able to practice, I won't be able to develop my talent. So in my business, I've made sure that I have to practice, train a lot, how to play the drums, learn about new skills, learn about how new things are done this way. And by so doing, when I have classes, I put some of these things into effect. And then with the couple of my talent, I'm able to put all these things together and be able to make something good for myself. Without taking your time, I think this is something I will leave you with, and I would like you to dwell on these three parameters, especially. How knowledgeable are you on your business? Do you know much about the business? Have you made an extensive knowledge about it? And whatever knowledge you got, were you able to put it into practice? Have you tested those theories or whatever ideas you got? And then try also the thirdly to dig deep into your talents and try to make sure that these three parameters, they are like a tripod. And we all know that this tripod, when you put something on it, it doesn't fall. So likewise, you being able to put these three qualities or these three aspects of your concept into the practice of your business, I'm sure you'll be able to come out with something positive at the end of the day. Thank you. I hope I stay within time. If you have any question, please, feel free to to ask.
Thank you so much, Francis. Again, a very, very deep analysis of what you learn, what you have to learn, and what you have to be able to do all in life. Do we have any questions now? Hi, there's one question. Hi, Francis. What could be in the environment?
Okay. The environment basically simply means that what kind of surrounding, what kind of people do you surround yourself with? And this, I have to maybe give you a very a practical example. I came to Finland in 2004, and then I was in the midst of a certain group of people. And I quickly realized that if I'm in this environment, it's going to be very difficult for me to move forward. Because I realized that whenever people bring in idea, they quickly shut it down. And the second thing is I noticed that some of the people trying to be the alpha in the group, that if the idea is not generated from them, whoever brings in the idea, then they see you as a no-go person or you cannot succeed. You need to be extremely careful about that. Otherwise, your dream and your aspiration as an entrepreneur you might throw it through the drain. I'm not saying that being an entrepreneur is easy. You have to put in all, but you need to surround yourself with a very good people. Same goes with the community. You need to surround with yourself with an extremely loyal people that believe in your dream. Otherwise, I'm sorry, things might be a bit difficult for you moving forward.
So you have to have the camels and the Lappish dogs and all those guys around you.
Exactly. You need to. And one strategy I came across also is that starting a business, sometimes you don't have the money to get all these camel, all these cheetah, and all these people around you. But there is a way you can actually approach this. As a business whole, you are 100%. You can approach certain people that are expert and you offer them something to the business. For instance, hey, sorry, can you develop this website for me? In return, I give you 2% of the share. That actually motivates them to come on board and support you and help you. And this is how you also surround yourself with all the cheaters, the camel, the crocodiles, and all those people. Because you offer something. And we live in Finland, nothing comes free. So you have to give something to gain something. At least something small. If you can give, a small percentage of your business to them, I think they'll be happy that, okay, I'm part of this. So their contribution is going to change completely. Absolutely. So personally, I've been talking with people and trying to surround people around me, and it's been really wonderful if you can practice some of these techniques or this concept of mine.
Of course, right. Thank you so much, Francis. And again, if there are more, things you want to talk about with Francis, we'll be happy to provide the contact details then. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, Markus is next. And again, your story as an entrepreneur will be very inspiring for us all. So the stage is yours. Markus.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about who I am and what I've done. So I've at the moment I'm working primarily in a company called Auga Technologies, which is a company I founded together with a friend of mine here in Finland back in 2003. The company has gone through essentially all of the different stages that a company should go through. We started very, very small, and at the moment we employ about 20 people in Finland, and we're getting close to 30 people in the UK, which is where our sales office is at the moment. I think for me, the thing that is very important with when starting a business, Auga Technologies, the company I'm now running, is one of many businesses that I've started over the years, and we essentially started that with a very specific goal in mind. So we had an idea of something that we wanted to do, and one of the reasons I think I became an entrepreneur initially, and the first time I ever founded a company in the late 90s was that I felt that I wanted to do things in a specific way, in a way that I felt comfortable with. And more than anything, I wanted to surround myself with the people that I felt happy working with. And I think this quote from Richard Branson is very interesting in many ways, because if you look at it, happiness is the secret ingredient for a successful business. If you have a happy company, it will be invincible. I believe this to a very, in many ways, I believe this is true. Of course, you have to have many other parts in the business as well. But I think if you have employees and if you have partners that are truly happy and truly working towards the same goal, there is not a lot of things that can stop you. And one of the things we did when we started our company, there was a group of friends that started it, which probably is one of the best things you can do, but it's also something to be very, very careful with. So when you start your company, because starting a company with your friends means that there is, of course, a risk that if things don't pan out the way you want it to, that your friends might not be your friends at the end of it. So for me, what I would take out of the companies that I've started is before you get started, there's 3 things I would really urge everyone to really understand. Not necessarily that everyone needs lots of people or lots of support to start with. It depends on what type of a business you want to run. Now, but all of these pieces must be in place, in my view, in any business that you're going to run. First of all, you need a product and a service that you're going to sell, something that you're going to be selling to someone. The second one you need is sales. And the third one would be internal support. So this is everything from legal help to accounting, anything that you can need. And there's great resources out there from local organizations to help you with these things. Now, I can give you an example. The company I'm working for right now, Auga Technologies, we started that with an idea. We had a product and a service that we felt at that point in time was on the bleeding edge of technology. It was the best product out there. And even 5 years later, in 2008, it was still the best product out there. No one had ever used it, though, because what we were sorely lacking was we didn't have any sales. And particularly for us, we worked very hard on a very high level of technology. So sales needed to be of a specific level. And also, we needed sales outside of Finland. So today, I think we have 2 clients in Finland, and we have about 1,000 clients globally. So Finland is not really a market for us. The only reason we have 20 people in Finland is because this is where we started building our production center. This is where we founded the company. So for us, it took us many years to actually get this tripod, to quote one of the previous speakers, in the correct set, because we had the service and we had the internal support, but we didn't really had a strong enough sales team to actually move forward. So the second thing, if you have these things and if you can see a way for yourself to build this for you, then it's important for you to understand who and where your clients are. One company I got involved in a couple of years ago had an absolutely brilliant idea for what they were supposed to be doing. They had developed a product in Finland that absolutely was for all intents and purposes a very, very good product. However, in Finland, there was no need for this product. There was other countries, specifically France and the UK, that really needed this product much more than in Finland. So the company actually suffered a whole deal before the founders finally agreed to move their product abroad. They felt that they wanted to prove themselves, and they felt that they wanted to prove that it works in Finland, but there wasn't a burning need for that product in this country. So after some time of trying to convince them that of this being the case, we actually started up a sales office and moved the production abroad so that they could actually be closer to where their actual need and the actual clients were. So these are it is, of course, something that everyone, I think a lot of people starting up, they think about this in the same way. I did that with my first company. I did visualizations of architecture. That was what I did in the late 90s. And I did believe that there was an enormous pool of clients out there that would actually be looking for this. And what I relatively quickly found is that a lot of people wanted it. Not a whole lot of people wanted to pay for it. So it became a very niche market, or a very niche company. And that company that I founded, I was involved with that for about 6-7 years before I sold it off to the employees, and the employees then took it forward. And to date, still working in a similar space, but it became very much a lifestyle company. It didn't really have any chance to grow further than that. And this brings me to the question that quite often for me is important, is once you have your company going, you kind of have to decide what you want your company to become at one point. And when you start out, please try to start as small as possible, because so many times I've seen other entrepreneurs, even in Vasa, that as soon as they get a startup grant, they get a fancy office in the middle of the city. They start spending an enormous amount of money on things around the company that aren't actually business critical. And whereas this, of course, can give you a certain feeling when you go to the office and you do these things, there's a reason that many businesses starts in someone's garage or in your extra bedroom or somewhere else. The first company I started was actually in a second bedroom I had. The second company we started up, we actually rented a small apartment so that we could actually save money because it was cheaper than getting a proper office. And we were very, very careful with spending any money unless it was absolutely business critical. Now, once you've gotten yourself set up and you have a plan for how you want to do these things, when you decide to hire someone, you have to think about this very, very carefully. And this comes back to the same question as always: what company are you building? What I decided with Auga Technologies was that I wanted to build a company where people actually wanted to come to work and wanted to stay longer. It worked really well for us in the initial years. It wasn't uncommon that people spent a couple of extra hours without getting paid at the office. We got into the feeling of everyone being family and everyone feeling happy to work together. And what it actually turned out to be was, if someone had an issue at the end of the day, no one went home before that issue was solved. And the benefit for everyone, even if someone couldn't help, they just stuck around. They cooked coffee, they went out to get pizza, they did whatever they needed to do, whatever they could to kind of help the people trying to solve the issues in the company. And this was a conscious decision we did very early on, to actually not always hire the most skilled, the technically best people, but we decided to hire the people that worked inside the community that we were building. And skills can always be improved, skills can always be found, and you can actually nurture these things. But if you hire someone that doesn't fit into the culture that you're building in your company, then you relatively quickly decide that your company is very separate from your life, which by no means is a bad thing. But from my personal experience, being an entrepreneur means you're going to spend so much time at work. You're going to spend so many hours over and beyond what anyone does when they're doing regular 9-to-5 work, that it was important for me that I had people around me that made me feel happy going to work, that I was interested in discussing every issue with them, and I felt comfortable giving them feedback in a constructive way. Then the final point that I want to make when you're actually getting going, and this is very specific only if you actually have partners, or if you're starting a company with a friend, if you're starting a company with an associate, with someone you know, whoever it might be, it is very important that you actually make sure that all of the documentation around how you will work together is done. I've experienced this firsthand. I've started a company with people, and as people dropped off, either they didn't stick with the company, they were still expecting to reap the rewards at the end of it. And other things is, you go into everything with all the best intentions, but at some point you don't know when your thoughts are going to be divided, and at a certain point that can actually almost derail an entire company if the founders are struggling more to actually find common ground than to actually build a company. That can be a very, very quick death for a company, and it's something that you can solve relatively easily early on by actually having documentation on how any potential arguments within the management group actually gets solved. So with that, I don't have much more. I think starting for me, being an entrepreneur, starting a company, there's nothing quite like it. And I think over the years, I've had successes and I've had failures, but there's nothing like the feeling of actually building something from the ground and seeing it grow and building it together with people that you enjoy working with. So I think I would be one of the people that would more readily always convince people to try and start their own thing rather than not. And I think with the supporting services that we have around in Finland, it is easier now than ever to actually do these things. So with that, I just want to thank you for this time, and I hope I haven't taken up too much, gone too far over my own timeline here.
You have absolutely not done that, Markus. Thank you so much for your, again, a very inspirational speech, and also taking into account things you have to think about, and the friendship issue which came along also in Jarl Matti's presentation is very interesting, the downsides and the positives regarding that. So very much food for thought to that again, and I'm sure you'll also be available for questions if somebody now has more. Are there any questions from participators at this moment? But anyway, we have a little bit of time in the end, so if something comes up in the end, you're free to ask then as well. But thank you at this point, Markus.
Thank you all.
I would like to make a comment about the presentation, if that's possible, because I really liked the part where you said that we decided not to hire the most technically skilled people, but because skills can always be improved. I think it's a really good message and attitude that really brings value to a company's culture and to the people that are in the company. So yes, I really liked that point very much. So thank you so much for this presentation. It was really good. Thanks.
Good. Thank you, Eleonora, for the comment. Thanks. We'll continue. We have the last speaker here, but not the least, Tommi Virkama, giving us advice on how to start. Go ahead, Tommi.
Hello. Do you see my presentation here? Is it?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Thank you for the zoo theories and Francis's tripods and Markus, very interesting about the let's say not so practical side of the business. I'm now gonna come and talk about where you can get help to fulfill your dreams and to put all that practice and talent and knowledge and make your coworkers happy and make a lot of money and things like that. But you have to do your homework very well before that, because people that make their homework well and do the groundwork very well before they start, they tend to have more luck by doing a lot of work and do it well. I come from the region enterprise agency Startia, and we are 30 of us all around Finland. So depending on where about in Finland you are planning to start a business, contact your local enterprise agency. They will help you. We will help you with the practical parts, with the business plans, with the registrations, with all of that. And we offer guidance for free, confidential and free of charge. And as Perttu said in the beginning, we have also agencies in Kokkola, we are in Pietarsaari, we are in Seinäjoki, and then of course in all the bigger cities in Finland, such as Turku, Tampere and Helsinki and so forth, 30 of us. So please contact us when you are about to start a business, when you have a business idea. And it starts with a business idea. We don't come up with business ideas for you. You need to have the business idea. Then we start talking about, are you selling products or services or both? You have to know who your customer is. You need to know who they are or who it is, because that will of course tell you how you should reach them, through which channels, how do you market, how do you brand your product or service, because so you can achieve those customers, because the customers have the money. It's in their pockets that you want. Of course, how are you going to do the operations? What's your model? How are you going to do it differently, better quality, faster, or whatever? How do you differ from your competition? Because there is competition out there. I can't imagine. I hope some of you have, but I can't imagine some of you have an idea where there's no competition in that area somewhere around the world, or in Finland, or in this particular area. When are you going to start the company? Is it the right time now in a short-term cycle? For example, now we have a crisis all over the world. This is a short-term crisis, could also turn out to be a long-term crisis, but how do you plan your business in short-term and in long-term to get it? I love what Marcus always also said there, that you start small, start to build up your confidence, start to build up your product, your services, build your team slowly, and the market will tell you when it's time then to expand. What is your brand? What is your image? What are your success factors? Why will you succeed? What is your competitive edge? How can you survive opposite your opposition, your competition? And of course, very important, is there a demand? Is there somebody that needs your product, your service? Do you do your product, do your services, do you add any value for the customers? If you do, then they are willing to open up their wallet, then they are willing to buy your service, your product, or whatever you are selling or providing. To start up the business, to come to our agency, you need to book an appointment for a meeting with a business advisor. We are at our office, we are 16 people, and at least 10 of us are business advisors. So depending on what kind of business you are thinking of starting, we try to find you the most suitable business advisor that suits you and your business and your thoughts, so that we also can somewhat help you with also the idea. The most important thing is that everything, all your thoughts, all your marketing plans, all your customers, everything will end up in a business plan. You need to get it on paper. You need to get those calculations. You need those customers, marketing plans, and everything that is in the business plan. But you also need the business plan mostly for yourself, obviously, to see if this floats. Does your business idea work when you do calculation and planning? But you also need it for the T office. Perttu talked in the beginning about the startup grant. To get the startup grant, he wants a business plan. We want a business plan because we are talking to Perttu if you need the startup grant or not. Do we believe in your business or not? Do you need the startup grant? You need a business plan for financing, because usually you need funds, either the bank or Finnvera or both. Finnvera is a Finnish, it's the government's financing institute that come in with guarantees for bank loans, for example, and other business subsidies that can be available from the government. We will help you with those and help you seek and apply for those. This is the, let's see now. This is the not probably the inspirational part of this webinar, taxation. Think about taxation. In Finland, progressive tax. You need to tell the tax office how much you think you will be earning, how much your profit will be, so they can know how to taxate you. You will be paying the tax in advance. Accordingly, what you have reported to them, they will be taxating you monthly in advance. And obviously also value added tax. These are topics we will be talking about and going through. Financing, funding, banks, Finnvera, maybe other funding. Legal matters. What kind of agreements and contracts do you have to have? What kind of permissions or authorizations, depending on what kind of business you have? What kind of insurances? This is all about risk control with legal matters and insurances. The mandatory insurance is the entrepreneur's pension insurance, and obviously other insurances that you might need. What kind of form of enterprise are you planning on starting? Are you going to be a private trader? Is it a general partnership, limited partnership, or something else? Startup grant, we will help you to apply and seek for the startup grant and all the conditions that Perttu were talking about there, but we know them as well. We have his material, so we help you apply for that. Also accounting. Most of you, please buy the accounting from someone that loves VATs and taxes. You concentrate on what you're good at, where your passion is, where your talents are, and try to reach out, make your product, your services better, and try to find those customers and make business. Then you have the accountant that you pay a certain amount a month for, so you know that the VATs and taxes are paid correctly. Concentrate and focus on your own business. Think about marketing, branding, selling. Of course, you have to get sales, you have to get cash flow. Obviously in the business plan also, and you need capital and profitability. We will do a calculation also for your investments, how much money you need and where to get it. And on the other hand, we will also make a profitability calculation with you with a 3-year budget. The easiest part probably is to look at the costs. The hardest part is to evaluate how much sales you will have. That's the hardest part. Obviously help you with registration of your company. You can do it these days. It's all online. Limited company and private trader can be done online. It costs, the cheapest way to register is private trader is 60 euros. And the most expensive is 380 for the limited company if you do it on paper, but online is 260. One way of starting a business to be an entrepreneur, obviously, is to buy a business. You get straight into sales, cash flow, customers, and things like that. But talk to an expert. Contact your local agency to see what that company is worth and what all the technicalities and all the contracts and things that have to be done. Don't buy a business without contacting an expert, please. But it's a very good way to start your own as an entrepreneur. And we've heard a lot about own competence, about skills and personal characteristics and talents and to build a great team. I tend to talk more and more also about this part here than all the other parties, rather dull parts, the accounting and taxations and financing. It's all about your passion to be happy what you are doing and doing your thing. When you start as an entrepreneur, do something that you love, do something that you're good at. That's a good start, because then you are also willing and prepared to put in the hours that it takes. As Marcus said, you will probably working more than if you would be working at a company as an employee, but you will love every minute of it. And it's your results that you see at the end of it. There is also in the beginning to start light, to start small. You can also be and work as an entrepreneur, not as an entrepreneur with a business idea, but you can use, for example, ukko.fi without being an entrepreneur. So you can invoice. It's very easy to invoice. No bureaucracy or paperwork, because they will take care of it. There are free registration, no obligations. You can choose your own work and prices, obviously, depending on the competition, of course. No fixed cost, but they're 5%. They charge 5% of your turnover. This is a part that is very tricky here. Who can do this? Then you need a tax card, bank account, residence and working permit, and that information is at migri.fi, and also good information on ukko.fi websites. And the light entrepreneurship is suitable if you're offering services. It does not apply if you sell something, sell products, for example, but if you sell some service, sell your own skills, your own knowledge, then it's suitable. Then you can be a light entrepreneur without actually having a business idea. You do not have a business, but you can work as you would have a business. It's business-like, but you don't have a business. And then the last one, contact the agencies. We have the tendency that those people we help to start the business, 90% of them are still have still a business after 2 years, 80% after 5 years. The average in Finland is 50% of the businesses has stopped after 3 years. But if you contact our agencies, this is all about what I said in the beginning, all about doing your homework right. Give yourself the best start you can give, and then it's out to fulfill yourself with your passion, with your build your own company. Healthy businesses bring steady jobs. That's why it does not cost anything, because the municipalities here own the agency and they will build businesses to the area. They want steady jobs. Yes, and this is the happy people that will help you. This is our zoo theory at Vasek. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tommi, for again an inspirational speech with also the details you actually need to know to start up your own business. And as was said, you're there to help people, and we will send all the contact details along with the material. Eleonora will write it in the chat box. So there is very much help available here in Finland in different forms to start your own business. And the light probably talk about that even more. For those of you who are international students, you are free to work for that 25 hours a week along with your studies, and using that light entrepreneurship or invoicing services. You're able to do so. For example, offer a market research for a company concerning your own country, possibilities to export products from Finland, etc. Many ways to get going to start doing this. But sorry, are there any questions for Tommi at the moment? We don't see any in the chat box, but you're free to ask anything, or the other entrepreneurs to comment each other at this point. No. Okay, then at this point we will thank you all so much for participating, along with special thanks to our presenters and being available to inspire others to do what you seem to love very much. So thank you at this point, and the materials will follow, and we'll announce the next topic then in a while as well. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Kiitos, hei hei.
Kiitos, moikka.
Hello everybody.
Bye.